Welcome, friends, to Charting Crypto. This is April the 20th, 2022. Let's look and see what we have before us when we jump into Bitcoin. We can see that Bitcoin is above the 200 EMA, exponential moving average. It is green, but not moving up off the line, not jumping up as we have seen in the past. And again, you can go way back in time here and you can see where Bitcoin has climbed, has it's dropped, as it made that huge climb, and then of course fell off back in 2021, initiated another climb. We had this burn off period right here where you've seen on our other charts where what ended up happening is the 2-day took us out of that and then put us back in, and we rode it up again, and of course got out with this latest drop over. And what we see happening now, I'm using the 24-hour charts. I guess these are provided by Bitstamp, but when we look at this, we can see we had 2 days of up movement, and then, 2 weeks of up movement. Then things cranked back over down, never accelerating up as you would hope to see in price. I contrast this with what I like to buy and trade when I'm dealing with Bitcoin. And what is that? That is, again, this is a short range index because it just got started. Well, it's actually a futures ETF as we take a look at it, but it did not give us any false green signals here. Did have a bump up there, but never changed on the STC, a very short run STC, albeit that, but not enough to try to in any way coax us into jumping in and then getting hammered when things rolled down. Now, we did see a short move developing, and you'll see that as we back up into the 2-day and then as we back up into the half-day. But as you look at what's going on here, you can see on the 2-day that we are heading up. This latest candle that's forming here, it was down for the day on the XBTF, which is Bitcoin Futures. It's the VanEck ETH Trust Bitcoin Strategy Fund. But what we see is a bit of a green candle heading up, and we see the STC going from red to green. But that again is just on. You see we have a 4 rating there as far as where we are on our strategy. It only gives us a 4. What does that 4 mean? Well, it means you've only got the medium-term chart heading up. So that's all that we see at this point. We go to the half-day, and of course you can see that it is still quite red and below the newly formed 200 EMA. Now, as we go back to the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart, you can see that it too has hit its head on the 200 EMA on that half-day chart. The thing that, again, as I look at these charts and as I try to learn them, understand how Bitcoin trades overall in this 24-hour-a-day market pattern, as you look at the charts and see how things develop, of course, one of our hard and fast rules that does appear to play quite well for us is only looking for trades in your time frame when in that time frame movement is above the 200 EMA for up moves, below the 200 EMA for down moves. We see over and over again that can be quite workable to us. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you. Let me get back to that. This is going back to XBTF. We did a successful short trade here, and I'll open this up a little bit so you can see it. I'll also bring in when we had the crossover going down, we jumped into a nice strong down move, shorting Bitcoin, and of course, again, applying everything from the average true range training, setting our loss at 3.92. We quickly, very quickly, over a short period of time, hit our profit point of 7.85%, down like clockwork. Again, I love this STC. It is quite beautiful. Now, getting away from Bitcoin, going back to the weekly chart and talking about where we are on some of these other cryptocurrencies. Let's check out what's up with Ethereum. This is again on the 24-hour market. What do we see going on there? Well, of course, Ethereum, again, so many times mimics what's going on with Bitcoin overall. Maybe not on a daily basis, but Bitcoin seems to control so much of the wave. It is above the 200 EMA on the weekly chart. But again, like Bitcoin, going down over the last couple of weeks. And as we look back in time, we can see that, you know, for the time periods that it's easy enough to track, we can see how this STC worked quite well for tracking and helping you to accurately find tracks and potential trades for you to practice in Ethereum too. Although I will tell you overall, I want to encourage you to, again, use the number tracking system so that you are able to get a feel very quickly, looking at where you are in multiple time frames, you know, adding up those numbers, a point for the half-day chart, 4 points for the 2-day chart. Why? Because it's 4 times bigger than the half-day. And 10 points for the weekly chart. What does that do for you? Well, of course, it helps you see the strength of the wave, or the lack thereof, going in the direction that you're looking to trade above the 200 EMA. It just gives you further confirmation, further confidence, and a really quick identifier as to where you are. When we look at some of the other ETFs and where they are, I mean, here we are with Cardano tracking down for the last 2 weeks, negative. Here we are with Solana tracking down the last 2 weeks, negative. Here we are with Ripple tracking down the last 3 weeks, negative. Now, again, when I say negative, we've got down movement. Again, like what we have seen here with Bitcoin, we do have a green up move, but not anywhere penetrating the middle bands or anything like that. We had 4 weeks of good up movement and then sort of burning that off. So we'll continue to watch as we go through the other coins. You've got Polkadot here, still in the red. You've got Doge, and again, up for 3 weeks and then losing that momentum over the last. You can see how Bitcoin overall seems to have such an impact across the board on what's happening with these various cryptocurrencies. Again, when Bitcoin's going up, everything seems to be surging. So as you look for trades, set up your practice trades and all, again, follow what Bitcoin is doing. It's one reason that we started tracking the indexes. So overall, what have you learned from tracking indexes? You have learned that when the S&P 500 is going up, most everything in the S&P 500 is pulled up by it, like we talk about with that tide analogy. When the tide comes in, no matter how big or small the boat is, it's floated. Now, if it has a hole in it, it may very well sink. That can happen, but most of the boats are going to rise with the tide. So if you learn one thing from paying attention to what's happening with Bitcoin, is its impact in the entire crypto space. Right now, still lots of negativity. Now, what are we waiting for? What are we living for? What are we hoping for? Well, my friends, of course, we're looking for it going green and spiking up. And when that occurs, we will be standing by, ready to go. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.